All right, guys, we got Clem in the bottom right side of the map, BYUN in the top left, and it is the semi-finals of the PiGosaur Weekly number 75. BYUN had to work pretty hard in his previous series. That was a long TVZ. Very long series there. Clem, though, going to rotate around. Try to block his command center. You know, just about a minute 38 to a minute 40 is when they get money. And BYUN just throws it off position, says, yeah, I'll lift it off later. I just want to get this finished nice and quick. It is Cybercore before Nexus. Clem's gone back to this after a few weeks dabbling in Nexus before Core. Feels like he says, my natural state is getting Adepts in your face, pressuring you, keeping active. That's where I'm most confident. Now, BYUN has gone early Tech Lab, which means this is most likely the 3-Racks build. Gets a couple of early Marauders and tries to push before Blink is done with 4 Marauders with Stim and Concussive. A very scary push, because Protoss normally pushes out before Blink's ready, arrives at the Terran base when Blink's ready, and then they can pick away at your units and disengage freely whenever they like. But if there's 4 Stim Marauders jumping on you on the map before Blink is ready, you're going to lose 4 to 5 Stalkers for free, and it's going to be devastatingly hard for you to get out from under the Terran pressure after that. Adepts moving forwards. Twilight Council halfway done. Concussive Shells is here. Can he catch an Adept? The backwards shade for safety. Good call for Clem. And the SCV even forced to stop producing for a moment in order to survive. Yeah, you lose some hit points, but the Adept is a cheap unit. It's an early game unit. And you've, of course, spied the opening. The question here is, what is Clem's response? A lot of people play 4-gate Blink. I think 3-gate might be better, but you've got to be very careful with those early Stalkers. And you got to try and get your 3rd up at competitive timing. But it's a knife's edge, this build order. Reactor is, of course, massively slowed down, and it is going to be 2 reactors after the Tech Lab. So I feel like this isn't going to commit as hard as the normal 4 Marauder build, guys. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe he starts Marauders after this Marine. I can't remember the exact build order. I felt like one of the barracks maybe didn't have an add-on or something. But no Marauders. Oh, he's going to go fast eBay. Ooh, okay, so BYUN's getting a second gas up quickly. He's going to get Engineering Bay for +1 weapon. Starts on 345. And he's got Marauders hunting around, just seeing if there's any Adepts or Stalkers. Scouting, making sure there's no proxies. So it's 2-gate into Robo, and a 3rd gateway, and a 3rd gas, and a 4th gas. Ah, okay, so Clem's going to play Storm. Most likely. You could play Colossus. You can play Colossus before 3rd. Normally, it's going to be Storm here. Just get an Observer or 2 out for Scouting. Prism a bit later for Charge Zealot drops and Storm drops. And of course, just needs 200 gas for Storm. For the Templar Archives, it's 150 for Robo Bay, which we'll see which path he takes. Observers cost a lot of gas, of course. Hallucination does go forward. He warped in a sentry, did an energy recharge on it. That's a lot of his gas being spent there. Three Barracks Factory almost finished. eBay's up there as well. This feels like a good old-fashioned no-rush 10, says Triwave. Hold my beer, mate. So part of what's happening here is BYUN hasn't been scouting. So he's playing a threatening opening into a more passive follow-up. But because that sentry scouted it, Clem now goes quick Robo Bay, which he'd already committed to, and now he drops a 3rd. BYUN's going to be pushing probably very hard with the first 2 medevacs, and I think we might see him boost into the natural and then Stim on the 3rd. You can see that Stim's a few units, but he already loses a Marine, and Clem taking no risks. All about efficiency. You don't want these Stalkers getting caught. Remember, guys, we've seen this same matchup, opposite spawns. Remember these bushes? This little area here is Clem's weakness on this map. We have seen him blink into that hedge, into Stim Marauders so many times. There's something about this area. This is like the gash, I want to call that area. Clem has a lot of mistakes sometimes falling into the gash. Got to be careful. Always got to have a way out, and you got to not go in blind. Check what's going in first. Ooh, the sentry gets focused. BYUN just jams. Adepts go down. The Stalkers are damaged. The Marine Marauder count gets lower, but I think it's a good trade for BYUN. He has just enough units. And the Colossus has just arrived. Clem should not have stood in fort. Mere seconds before the Colossus was ready. BYUN finds a brilliant window, kills all the Stalkers and Sentries for a bunch of basic Marines and Marauders. Excellent trade for BYUN. And Clem, I gotta say, it's a misstep. He should have been fighting just with the Stalkers, blinking back, keeping the other units further back, Only if BYUN pressed in further could he use the Guardian Shield and the other units, started stepping back the whole way, and then the Colossus maybe could have arrived during the fight. If he loses the pylon, no problem. If his Nexus takes 1,000 damage, no problem. But now, yes, his third's up, but he's lost a lot of core units. Now he's kind of on the ropes. To be fair, no third down for Terran yet. Double drops coming in, though, going to be annoying. There's not many Stalkers to shoot these down, so 3 probes in mining time is excellent. Would have loved the Robo as well. He's going to turn, tries to get a Stalker. He will use the boost on the way in, which is chaos style at its finest. I almost always recommend, guys, if you're going for drops, save the boost. Go in with the drop, unload, scan ahead if it's later in the game and there's not much distracting your opponent. And then at any point you can pick up and boost away. But if you use your boost on the way in, it's very much not checking what's going on. You oh, I hope this works, because I don't have a way out for a good 20 seconds. 3 mineral lines are up on 4 gases. You can see Clem desperately wants a 4th, but his forge is so late as well. 1-1 is finished for Terran. +1 has not started for Protoss. Viagra's finished, though. He's got +2 range on his Daddy Longlegs, his Colossus range, which is always good. Oh, I love the max packs. So for those who don't know, the 2 Zealot run by in this matchup, made famous by max packs. The Zealots are named Max and Packs in my head canon. And you're just kind of going, hey, I'm being annoying. I don't think Clem should be attacking right now. It's good that he's forward on the map. He should be looking for freebies, but not committing. And that wedge of tanks is so well protected there. But he could move his army around this left side. There is an opening there, and then Zealots might be able to get in the natural. Meanwhile, though, second forge, and look at that. Oh my god, guys, he's got a Stargate. Do you know what that's for? It's because he knows he's going to get drops stuck in the dead space at some point. He knows every time on this map that happens, or a Liberator gets in from behind and denies your minerals, he's ready for it before it even happens. Now, obviously, he's thinking ahead if he just dies to a regular frontal push. Kind of a shame we spent 300 resources on it. But if the game goes long enough, this is very clever. The problem is right now he's got a 4th Colossus and no Storm, no Disruptor. In a long passive game, committing heavier to Colossus becomes a negative move unless you can out-micro your opponent and snipe the Vikings. Now, to be fair, there's only 1 starport, and there's not many Vikings in this game, only 6 of them. BYUN is afraid to overcommit to Vikings, so maybe there's a meta going on between the 2 players where he says, hey, I'm not going to fall into the trap of overbuilding Vikings that so many Protoss players set up for these days. I'm only going to build 6 Vikings. And of course, we know that's a mistake against 4 Colossus. He does not. He doesn't have the information we have. Zealots coming in the left side. They want those tanks. But the bio moves back. BYUN is still stable. 2-2's well underway. +2 is coming in for Clem. Second forge helping him catch up, as well as the Disruptors. I love that he's got double Robo Disruptor now. Clem is one of the better Disruptor users. Even with the Disruptor being heavily nerfed, it's one of the better tools because Protoss often just wants to find any way to trade with Terran and bully them a bit, and most players can't dodge the balls that well. I think BYUN is a tough match for Clem, though. Clem's late game is some of the best in the world. He's outplayed Maru in the late game TVP of this matchup, as well as a bunch of other players. They've had, Cure. He's had fantastic late game play. There are also moments where all of those players have just walloped him, got on top, smashed his Disruptors, and he's in trouble. Thanks for the sub, Mike. Appreciate you. Lidus as well. If you guys want to support the tournament, those watching live, don't forget to use the tip button. We've only had 1 tip today, guys. We're at $20, which is very appreciated from Adams. But if you guys are watching live, ! tip in the Twitch chat, or check out the pinned comment on YouTube. We do require, or rely on, I should say, community donations so that I don't hemorrhage too much cash supporting these weekly events. Thank you everyone who's been supporting in the past. If you can't afford to, never feel bad about it. But if you can afford a few dollars, it's not going to hurt your piggy bank too much. Please do consider chucking those in. Content will always stay free, as per always. If you guys are watching on YouTube after the fact, you can always check out my Patreon. Links down below in the description. Got some cool exclusive merch and perks that you guys can get from the Patreon. Couple more expansions going up. You can tell Clem doesn't want to let this go to late game. He's got a lot of zealots on the right. He's going to try and distract. Gets a command and a kill. It's 400 minerals. Very nicely done. Double disruptor. Not quite in range of the tanks. Now, disruptors can outrange siege tanks, guys, but very, very barely. You need to be in a straight line. You can't be on a diagonal usually. You need to come up, stop just outside of range, and the very edge of your disruptor splash can barely hit the front tank. It's hard to pull off in an actual game. You really need vision of where the tank is to judge it exactly. But it's a good thing to know. I know they changed the radius once or twice, and I think if you reduce the radius too much, that gets removed. But I'm pretty sure they still can land that pretty consistently in current balance. EMP Viking doing very well, even with just 6 Vikings. With the EMP ambush, he gets 2 Colossus from the high ground. Nicely done. Thank you very much, Triwave, with the $20 directly into the prize pool. Appreciate you very much, mate. This seems only like part of BYUN's army, guys. He's got tanks behind to fall back on, though. And that's the trick, is you want to engage far out front so the zealots get nowhere near your tanks, and you start to step backwards to the safety of those tanks. And those tank shots make it really hard. Look at this. Splits a giant army off. Brilliant maneuver. Brilliant maneuver. It's going to pick up and boost to that right side. Stalker Zealot coming after it. Oh, God. Oh, God, Clem. Oh, no. He's going to get blinked on. He's going to lose at least a bunch. Come on. I mean, BYUN's going to get blinked on, sorry. Oh, no. BYUN goes too deep. And not just that. Now he hides in the dead space, even if he saved them all, guys. Even if BYUN saved them all, look what was already prepared. The Stargate. Clem knew this situation would 100% happen on this map, and he said, I will already have the Stargate. The moment he saw that drop hitting there, he was thinking about this 5 minutes ago when he put that Stargate down, and he is going to get that kill. And that is going to be a real bummer there for BYUN. I thought it was such a good move going across like that, but BYUN was a bit too slow to evacuate, guys. And this is classic BYUN. In a game where your win condition is turtling, BYUN will turtle for 25 minutes sometimes, and then he'll just get over-eager and shove on the map and throw his army away. It's a feature, not a bug at this point. Viking moving forward. Disruptors, completely whiff. Great spready there for BYUN. Beautiful spreadies. Yeah, he always does this eventually. Like, that's the problem. Now, there's no Storm. There's no Storm, no Mothership, and no Blink DT. Oh, there is Blink DT. Okay, so what Clem's going to try and Blink DTs on this left side. If he comes in, he might be able to kill that left side, but it's double planetary. For those who don't know, guys, Dark Templar only have 120 combined hit points, shields, and hit points combined. Planetaries do 40 flat splash damage. There's no damage fall off on a planetary splash damage. So with you got 2 planetaries doing 40 splash damage. Those Dark Templar only take 3 shots from those to die. That's not even accounting for any tanks or mines you have with them as well. The Stalker Disruptor, he's looking for trades, but you can see BYUN is holding firm, and he's most importantly not floating this command center out. This is where most Terrans float the command center out and start throwing units away. BYUN's been pretty stable with this. I do wish he full walled this side. Problem is right now Zealots can run in here and start clearing these tanks up, and there's no answer. If 12 Zealots run in here, they kill so much because you don't have a wall off or a bunker or anything. Oh, he moves out away from a lot of the tanks and the libs. Clem says, this is my opportunity. The Disruptors throw out their balls. They land a few shots. Still got a tank on the high ground. The command center covered partially. Tank not quite able to get a shot off. Those Stalkers just dipping in and out of range. DTs blink on the left side. They take out 2 tanks, but he pulls back from the planetaries. These command centers, at least one of those is a good snipe. Gets one. Loses a couple of DTs, but I think that's okay. Now, normally you want Storm once there's mass air for Terran, guys. Storm, not only good against ground, good for feedback and ghosts as well, of course, but Vikings, Libs, Medivacs, all get hit by Storm. So Storm's one of those really good late-game tools, but Clem likes to keep it simple, stupid, and just play Stalker Disruptor and just use the mobility and use Mass Gateway. But he's only got 14 Gateways, 3 Robos. Is that enough for now? These DTs, he blinks away. Good blink away. But I think the Bio can chase. I would chase that. I would absolutely do. Those guys are so expensive. I would have kept stimming after. It's a long cooldown on Dark Templar Blink. It's not as short as Stalker Blink. Why is Clem a Protoss? Clem's been playing Protoss for about 1.5 years now, maybe a bit longer than that. He's very good at only against Terran, though. So he dodges the TvT matchup. Oh, he's out of position! And a huge dive! He moved to the right side. Like I said, BYUN just can't keep it in his pants. He tries to go out there and get the expansions, but that's exactly what Protoss wants, is you moving out. Then again, Did Clem go too deep? Yes, he may have. He loses a lot of disruptors. BYUN lost a lot of units, but the fact that he quickly collapsed back and kind of punished Clem for it was good, but he lost this command center before. That's the problem as well, is the longer this drags out with Clem's income at double on the minerals to the Terran income, that's dangerous. Very dangerous for BYUN long term. So let's Stalker Disruptor rotating. Not many siege units here. Not to mention the units damaged quite heavily. But remember, Medivacs heal at double the rate and have double the healing rate energy. Actually, do they heal at double the rate, or is that just the mod? Caduceus is just energy regen rate, isn't it? I think that's Patches or Green Arts mod where they heal at double the rate as well. Stalkers blink forward. Liberator goes down. Sorry, I was playing too many mods over the last few months. Hey, get my stuff confused. It is just the energy gain, yeah. I was like, wait a second. That sounds way too strong for an upgrade they randomly added in 2022. Thank you very much, Jesse, Got In Good, and Vice Vince for supporting the tournament. Really appreciate you guys so much. Gonna read your messages and do some proper shoutouts after this game. We're going to cast this game right now, as we've had some epic matches today. And game one of this series is already right up there. BYUN needs an excellent fight. I think what BYUN needs is to circle around and sandwich this army where he proper gets on the disruptors. That's a big old surprise. Oh, DTs are going to go in. That base, always the most vulnerable base is the third base because there's no planetary there. Fourth and fifth have some stuff at it. And I like the way he's recycling these Dark Templar. The planetaries have 7 range. We've got that high sec drive. High sec auto tracking, very nicely done. Did you guys hear that? The DT said some deep voice line there. Oh, Stalkers blink forward, get a command center. Gets another disruptor on those Marauders. I think BYUN may have just killed his own sensor tower. Maybe it just burned down. Disruptor throws from a bit far back. Careful there, Clem. Clem's still on 82 workers, and ooh, might be F2ing a little. He's got some cannon battery around. Hold on. He's getting jumped on. Oh, okay, but he jumps on the right side, which is the correct call. Does he have enough disruptors to zone out the left? Yes, he does. BYUN needs to take a moment to heal here. He's only on 5 libs. How many libs has he lost? 7. I feel like this army is so weak when libs are sieged up in the correct direction, but BYUN's just never getting to the correct count. And you can see he has to stim before Clem even commits, because otherwise he knows he could get blinked on and lose all the libs, and the disruptors can chase his ground army away. The disruptors are really good for chasing ground away, while the stalkers just blink in and do damage. Stalkers are bad in pitched battle, but the reason this style works is you can pick off commands and its libs and just fight where the enemy's not sieged up, using the mobility of the stalkers to dive in, gets another command center kill. And the disruptors just scare your ground army away. Now, one DT actually survives there, and Clem did not notice it. It kind of escaped his notice because he's so busy on the... Oh, BYUN's notice, sorry. It's Clem, isn't it, with the DTs? Sorry, guys. Oh, the lib's getting wrecked, man. I think BYUN might get overwhelmed. A lot of his libs were facing in the wrong direction. That DT's stretching him out, distracting him. He tried to go for a counterattack, and this is what I'm saying, is BYUN needs to stop trying to counterattack and defend. But the difference is that Clem and BYUN are both much better at attacking than defending. And so he figures, look, I'm struggling. The answer to this is not defend better. It's go across the map and make him defend me. But Clem is not willing to accept that. Every time BYUN moves out, he leaves a more exposed opening for Clem to dive in the front. And we're yet to see him not make that mistake. Only 5,000 better in the units trading is really bad for this stage of the game. With this style of game, that's not good. But Clem, this time, gets a bit excited, blinks into a surround of Marauders, and all the disruptors are going to get hammered. But a lot of libs aren't part of this fight. A lot of stalkers will go down, as will a lot of disruptors. It's a sloppy trade, that one, for Clem. I think if he saw the bio army stim into these cannons, it would have been a good move. But with them just right there, bit of a mistake. So the problem for BYUN is the income differential, guys. He drops around in mules, which will keep his minerals up for now. These bases are getting low. If he loses this base, he's dead, and he needs to secure another one. Meanwhile, Clem, mining a lot of these forward bases, mining a lot of these middle bases pretty heavily. Every minerals he takes from those is a mineral that BYUN will not be able to mine later. Also, 3 Colossus coming in, bit of a tech switch, as well as +3 plasma shields, knowing there's very few Vikings left over. Stalkers blink forward, grab a Medevac. Warp Prism sneaks by the left side, only 1 missile turret there. You gotta have 2 on that edge. Otherwise, this can happen. DT in the main base. And this is not about killing, being efficient. It's about distracting BYUN on the APM front. It is just, he's not even blinking the DT away. His focus down here. He blinks in, takes out some units, but he's losing so many stalkers. Dude, you can't be fighting without the disruptors. He forgot. He hasn't replaced the disruptors. He's going to warp in mass zealot down here. That is a very exposed base. A few DTs as well, creating as many problems as possible. He's going to go back in the main. Vikings will deal with it. He's trying to distract. I don't know, man. The Zealots aren't going to do that well against the Planetary. He's kind of going to target the SCVs as much as he can. These guys looking for an angle. Disruptor's going to go down. BYUN's going to jump. Oh, the Colossus are getting hammered. The Colossus are getting hammered. This is so good for BYUN. Dude, did he just rebuild 4 Colossus and 2 had already died up here before we even looked at it? Because I saw him building 4 Colossus before, then I only saw 2. Now he's building another 4. Oh my. Units lost up, getting out of control. 15,000 in favor of BYUN. Stalkers blinking forward. They do take out a few libs. Now, keep in mind, if you go Storm here, if you go Sky Toss, Tempest Storm, like I often advocate for, which CLEM definitely had the bank to do with forward cannons, it does take away your tempo. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to keep going. Zealot, Stalker, Colossus, Disruptor, 14 gate reinforced. I think, honestly, he could be up to 25 gateways at this point. But, man, I do wonder if, like, a random High Templar came in and did a flanking storm. These air army units would definitely be getting hammered. There is power to the tech switch. Clem's trying to keep it simple for himself, but he's running out of efficiency in this game. Warping in almost pure Stalkers here. Really hard to get any efficient micro on those Stalkers. My gosh, the Marauders, the Libs, hammering his army right now. Stalkers are just so inefficient against Bio. You don't want to use them for a frontal fight like this. And it's the lack of the rebuild on the Disruptors quickly that has led to the massive fall in Clem's efficiency. He got cute trying to go back to Colossus. He has 4 Robos. He should have had Disruptors out as well. If he built 1 round of Disruptors, he could have, or 2, and then went Colossus, he could have kept the activity rate up. But the moment he had no Robo units, you can see he's struggling. Now he's got so much more bank, he might be able to do this, even whilst being 30, 40,000 resources less efficient. He's up to 17,000 resources less efficient now, but BYUN gets a base up north. I don't think Clem even knows it's there. And that's a bummer, because after chasing him back, maybe he could have jumped on that just there. Stalkers blink to the left. They're going to run away, splitting his army up a lot. Stalkers looking for pickoffs wherever they can. Liberator's going to go down to harass there. Just going to pick off a missile turret and back away, I guess. Oh, he's going to go for the orbital. Yeah, command center snipes are one of the best things. This is why Mass Stalker's good. It's one of the few armies that can just pick off command centers, which are a very limited resource. There's only 5 orbitals. Zealot Colossus running from this side. Disruptors are going to throw some balls on the repairing SCVs. Do take out 7 of them, but I don't think he can kill this. He's gone too deep, but he gets it. No, he pulls back. I kind of think, oh man, he was so close. Sometimes going too deep on a planetary throws the game away, guys. A bunch of Robo units get caught there. 2 Colossus go down. 1 escapes deep in the red. The other one gets shot down by the army where it recalls. Stalkers chasing the medevacs, getting some good trades on those medevacs, but the Marauders slip behind the double planetary. And engaging into the double planetary is disastrous if he does full chase, but just the Stalker Colossus, the range units doing pretty all right. Nicely done. More Colossus rallying in from the right side. Bases are going to be lost in the top right. BYUN still has a decent army supply, but as we can see, when he engages in the fast and loose game, it does come down to a war of multitasking. You can see the APM of both players at about 470, almost dead even between the 2 of them. Vikings coming forward. Stalkers trying to trade on these. The Stalkers get rid of all the Vikings. That's super good, and he will. He'll get rid of the Vikings. The Colossus survive. He didn't click the command center, which does make me a little upset. No reason to let that command center survive. It's on like 20 hit points. All he's got to do is click it. It's right there. I always feel like Protoss and Zerg players don't realize how important orbitals are. I thought Clem would be a bit more focused, but he was distracted by the lib down here. And the command center burned down anyway. BYUN didn't repair it. Oh my gosh. He only sent the 1 SCV to repair. It got sniped by the Stalkers, and he didn't keep repairing it. Bio chasing Clem in the middle of the map. His stutter step on these Colossus is brilliant. He's so good with his Colossus stutter step. Unfortunately for him, his Disruptors in the front of his army. It does go down. Look at how many Colossus he's got. Oh my god. BYUN's just like, are you kidding me? How much money do you have? Clem says literally endless. To be fair, he traded almost 20,000 resources less efficiently. And he's actually out of bank. And blinking forward, he throws all of his Stalkers away. Clem got a bit excited there. Dude, Clem's out of bank. Clem is out of bank, and this base is still mining. Clem still has a scary army right now, but this game is actually nail-bitingly close. I really think Clem thought it was over. I think BYUN thought it was over. But maybe it's not. The Lib's going to go harass the bottom left side. Lots of gas up for Clem right now. He needs more minerals. He's got so many, like, just little sections of minerals mining on these bases. It's kind of hard to know exactly where your economy is when you're in one of these sorts of games. Command center's going to go down. Snipe. But you can't. Okay, he's going to chase to this left. BYUN obviously still has that base in the top right, which is really big. Stalker's picking off Vikings. Oh, the Colossus taking big damage. The Stalkers are getting gunned down by these libs, man. Oh my gosh. The libs did some good damage. But BYUN is so broke. He's only got 30 workers. His income very low. His gas income almost negligible. Oh, and Clem on move command. Oh no, Clem move commands into the army. He goes to sleep. He goes home. Starts macroing, looking elsewhere. Move commands his army into BYUN's army. What a disaster. And it's so interesting. I feel like Clem's PvT has been a bit more interesting to watch recently because he has moments of excellence, but he makes more frequent mistakes in the last few weeks than he used to. Just makes the matchup much more competitive. And it's really, it's kind of like watching hero PvT. You're like, what's he going to do next? Terran still has mules and a fresh base up here, but minerals here, minerals available there. This base is back up. He's going to recall to the top right. He's going to give this base up and deny this base. Clem says, let's deny bases. But it's not that big an army. +3 Stalkers do a lot of damage. They do like 24 damage a shot to armor, which obviously planetaries are armored. We'll be able to volley that down. Nicely done. He's not even chasing the SCVs that much. The rest of his army runs away. He's just leaving some Stalkers and Zealots and more mobile units to chase. He only loses this base, not the bottom left corner. And that is an absolutely massive snipe. BYUN's going to split his army, go for the corner now. This base is still very important. A few mineral patches there that are reasonably healthy, those 3 mineral patches. Clem has really done some nasty trades in this game, but now that the banks are low, he can't do any more of those. He gets the command center. Wowzers! BYUN can't chase too far. He does get the bottom left base at the same time. He's going to catch a lot more probes down here. Recall's already being used. Clem a bit slow to evacuate. He's going to try and shift click those out. And BYUN lets them escape, which I find kind of surprising. He's so afraid of the army. Dude, that was a valuable set of probes. That was like 14 probes there. That's a DT on this side. Stalker army coming forward. Terran is ahead of the army supply. If he can bring these guys back from this side and sandwich this army, it's going to be lights out. Clem will go down. But with 5 Colossus, no Vikings, good luck with that. Both players are in a very low economy. There's only 3 orbitals left, so there's not that many mules in this game. Oh, the sandwich on the Stalkers is pretty valuable. Clem gets a Liberator for 4 or 5 Stalkers there. Good trade, obviously, for BYUN. Stalkers are not cheap. Gets another one there, though. Phoenix, deep in the red. That guy's going to get thrown out for sure. DT's on the army. Gets taken out. Scan goes down. Good stim. Giant army. Chasing the Colossus is a big, crazy move. Big, crazy move. No force fields. Oh my god. It's too many Colossus, though. Chasing into the Colossus was not the play for BYUN there. Anytime you chase into splash damage and that much splash damage, there's no way. You have to come from 2 sides because you clump up like that and those units just get absolutely annihilated. Great game 1 for Clem. It really feels like Clem has no interest in ever going past this stage of PvT. And I've always said this is one of the better late game styles that's not super turtle late game, but it's a bit more tempo focused where the disruptors and the stalkers allow you to trade constantly. Your army's very fragile, but as long as you have disruptors keeping their bio off you, your stalkers can pick off high-value targets and then blink away. And your disruptors can cover your retreat. It's a really cool style, and Clem's doing it great. All right, lovely game 1 there for Clem, guys. Really well played. I do love to see that old-school tempo style. I remember Harston was almost beating Clem with that a bunch of games a few years ago, around maybe 2022, 2023. I remember there was a bunch of games they played in some tournaments, and it was like really competitive, back-and-forth series. And I felt like, you know, Clem playing the Terran side of that matchup really struggled with it. And if you go back to 2020, that was the main style, right? Disruptors, Stalkers, potentially some Colossus and Zealots and whatnot mixed in. But then it was the Blink Dark Templars going in and catching planetaries and engaging elsewhere. Occasional Prism or Zealot run by. And then you just, it's a good style. Disruptors don't one-shot units anymore. They cost 4 supply rather than 3. It's a way worse style than it used to be. But they do shoot faster. They have a 17-second cooldown. It used to be 21 seconds. And Protoss is so good at getting up into an advantageous economical situation and then swarming. And that tempo, you know, Twitch chat was talking about it, and they were saying, oh, it allows you to mass expand. You play a tempo style like that, you can take every base on the map so early because you're just in their face and the opponent can't really move out. And I think that is definitely one of the big advantages of that style. I have a really good memory of that, says Stego. A vivid memory, Home Story Cup, might have been Alcyone, where Harston was winning, and then Clem caught like 8 of Harston's disruptors with no support. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think there was a 3-1 victory for Clem. Was it that tournament? I think it was a 3-1. But like all the games were pretty damn competitive, and it felt like it could have been a 3-1 to Harstem. It's a very good series, actually. And everyone was like, Harstem's a content creator and washed. He's not good at StarCraft. And I was like, put some respect on Kevin's name. He's still legit. And he actually is like a legit pro gamer still. But people see him make YouTube videos and they're like, he's just doing the funny stuff. And I'm like, no, he's legit. Dude, he's delaying a lot of mining time. The problem is he stays so long, and that does not deny blink. There's another pylon down here. Good micro on the Stalkers. Good micro by CLEM. I mean, cost for cost, this is actually Protoss favored, but you got to account for the mining time and the medevac getting away, the highest value unit. I think that's fine for BYUN. I would say that's okay. Even I think that is actually a decent pressure, guys. I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it puts him ahead, but like the scarier thing is that, okay, you traded, it's an okay trade against the guy who's got a third base that started at 4 minutes. So that's the scary part, is it hasn't done anything to stop the fast third. There's still pressure on you to find some very effective trades over the next few minutes. Now, luckily, he's going to scout the Robo Bay timing with the Raven, but with 2 Stalkers ready for it, he's not going to find any damage. And this is CLEM. How many Protoss players just leave their mineral lines open? Terran almost always goes for Raven, and they just keep finding damage with it. CLEM here, really well prepared. Now, this is where, if you're a noob, you build a Stargate, you build a Phoenix to kill this Raven. Super worth it, right, guys? It's obviously not. You don't have enough gas for that. Then you would have to not get +1, or not get your first Colossus or something like that. It's a very silly move. But it's also so satisfying to do that part of me would want to do it. I'd be tempted to do it. But more importantly, here comes the bio tank push. Stalkers need to group up in the middle. He's going to have to give up the grass. He's not trying to fight him in the site blocker. He knows he can't engage in there. He just pulls back, fights the moment CLEM sees the Terran cross the midpoint of the map. Then Stalkers start to wail on him. I love that. That volley on the tank was really good, but he's got to stop fighting now. He's taking too much damage on these Stalkers. He does bait a siege up, which I think the Observer should probably try to come back and see when the unsiege happens. Raven does take a lot of damage. He's going to go for a double auto turret there. Pushes the Stalker back. Dude, CLEM doesn't lose a single unit? You're kidding me. Friggin' hell, CLEM's good at StarCraft. But BYUN's got the position. He's even got a Marauder that he traps behind the tanks. Probably not optimal there, but hey, that's okay. Shields is not here. This is Stim Marine Marauder. The tanks need to take care of the Colossus, but they go for the Stalkers, which I guess is the more fragile target. One tank survives here. It's a really good fight for BYUN, but he will have to get out because charge is finished. That's a great evacuation. Still, CLEM holds on, has a third fully saturated on minerals. He's on 4 gases. He doesn't have extended thermal lance just yet, but he's got a Colossus out, second one building. It just feels really nice. By the way, guys, who's with me? This Robo positioning sucks. I hate it. I always build my Robo in the main. I don't know about you guys. I know it's good to rally to the front, forward pressure. Your units get to the fighting quicker. Man, the number it's such a fragile structure. I hate it being here. I mean, it's just like, it's 900 hit points. It's the most important structure your whole build relies on. If things do get messy and the Robo is protected in the main, you can fight back. If it goes down early, you can't build Colossus, like, you just die. I think I think it's, you know, StarCraft's all about high risk, high reward decision making and payoffs and that sort of stuff. That guy just got chopped in half. Oh my lord. Dude, you nasty. Didn't realize we had Buffalo Bill in a zealot costume over here. What are you gonna do, man? He's like rubbing the blood into his skin. He's like, this is a great cosmetic. Just like, what the hell, bro? Psycho. Anyways, Bio's going to go down south. BYUN's third is floating out. He's at a competitive work account. CLEM goes for the middle base. Ooh, tank's getting some good shots off. What is try to stim on this? BYUN, crazy person. I don't know about this move, BYUN. Is this actually good? He senses that CLEM's being too greedy. Oh, dude, the anti-armor missile. The Marauders got rid of that Colossus fast, but 2 Colossus, it looks like will escape. And I think he's chasing too far for sure. I don't know, man. Was that good? Units lost up? Sorry, I don't know what button I just pressed that zoomed me to the other side of the map. That was weird. And Viking gets hit as well. Nah. Felt like there's a little overeager. When you got 4 tanks, you don't need to dive like that. He thought he could take advantage. He lost the Raven, 4 Vikings, only 1 Colossus went down. Get some Stalkers, gets a Sentry. I don't know, it still feels like BYUN there maybe overeager for the sacrifice, and that gives Clement a free pass to 5th base, 2 on upgrades, extended thermal lance, doesn't get forgotten, which is absolutely crucial, and does he build a 4th Colossus, guys, is my question. I would love to see him pivot Disruptors immediately. I think Disruptors are so good when they've got defensive tanks at, like, finding ways in, and you can even outrange those tanks if you, like I said, use the range correctly. Remember, when you've got a very minimal range advantage, you always want to attack on straight lines, north, south, east, west, or directly southeast, northwest, northeast, southeast. So that's kind of the thing. Someone did a breakdown of how to get spine crawlers to outrange bunkers, and they're like, you know, if the spine's in the middle, or the bunker's in the middle, you're going to put the spine like here, 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 or here. I think the diagonals worked as well, but anywhere in between, you couldn't get it to work. If anyone can dig up that Team Liquid thread, post it in the chat. I'd love to open it up and take a look. Old Team Liquid thread where someone broke that down. What I love about gaming communities is the people that would just spend like hundreds of hours or dozens of hours testing weird things and figuring out how they work, and then writing their little essays and treatises about how the range works inside the SC2 engine.
Ooh.
Stalkers on the right. Oh, he gets the sensor tower. Nicely done. I think there's something wrong with the audio. Oh, sorry, guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you, Steve, for the $10. Colcrum with the $20. Global with the $10 as well. Thank you for the support, guys. Sorry, fixed the audio there. Sorry, we got some moisture on my microphone from the bacon slapping before. That's my fault. We fixed it. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you telling me that. Should be all good now. Give us the thumbs up in chat if so. Apologize. First 11 minutes of this game being a bit wrong. We had the basically we just had the audio duplicated is what we had. So everything would have sounded a bit more reverby because we had 2 things playing the same audio on top of each other. That's my bad. 12 gates coming up. Some people are always like, oh, I didn't notice. And then other people with like really good audio settings and sound are always like, ugh, hideous. Okay, BYUN, once again, I would describe the way BYUN's controlling his army whenever CLEM comes to his territory as clicking with his important thing. It does feel like maybe BYUN needs to just calm down and slow down a bit. Because, like, he just wants to stim and initiate, and CLEM's like, back away. And it feels like he's getting overreactions. Like, BYUN's a bit excitable, a bit nervous, maybe. Now, like I said, I think a full wall off on this side could work if you then put tanks behind it or whatever. But just tanks in the open, if you don't have any bunkers or a PF here or something, can be hard. So maybe turn this into a PF later, or shit, put it there. I think a PF in that situation would make it really hard for CLEM to find a way in. CLEM splits his army. A great army split here for Mr. BYUN. Does lose the tank, but he gets rid of the Colossus. A lot of Zealots. Those are really good defense. BYUN has the tanks, but he fights outside their range all the time. Yeah, and I get like it's easier to just choose when a fight happens rather than be reacting to your opponent. But against a guy as good as CLEM, you can get baited into some terrible fights if you keep chasing him like that. Like to see a bit more pre-spreading before the fight start as well, potentially. Oh, otherwise you're going to take disruptor shots like that, aren't you? Oh, look at that. CLEM did accidentally go in range, but only 1 tank was in range. So he gets the double shot off, doesn't lose the disruptor, gets the tank. Stalkers do take out a Viking or 2. Colossus takes a bit of damage. Zealots going to work their way around the left. I like that. Pull the army over to the right side and then try to sneak in that left side potentially. Tanks doing good, but there's no tanks on the south side. And BYUN just YOLOs. Oh my lord. It's a crazy way to fight. He doesn't have any ghosts either. It's a very dangerous way to fight. And of course, the Zealot's going to come in, get rid of the bunker, take out a few ghosts. I feel good about this. I'm just going to feel really good about that trade. He's happy to trade inefficiently as long as he gets to mine these corners out, guys. Moves up here. That tank does punish him a little bit. Command center goes down. Oh. Probe comes in, sees the expansion. I think CLEM was thinking about taking it himself. So Clem's on 4 Robo Disruptor, guys. He's got 3 of the Robos out front. In this case, you definitely want the Robos on your front. I just think the first one should be protected earlier in the game. Now he's got full map control. 3 Robos at the third. Rallying Disruptors forward. Gets himself another few Marauders. Oh, completely undefended 5th base. Nuh-uh. Clem ain't going to let you get away with that. Caduceus Reactor's on the way here for BYUN. He's already up to 5 orbitals with a few more command centers building. He's got to be really cautious with how he expands. And like I said, if he can wall off this side fully and get a planetary either here or out here with like a few units behind it, it's much easier. Another command center gets cancelled. Really good push-ins for Clem. He's going to try and outrange the tank. Remember, you can do that. But only one of those disruptors was close enough. He threw them from slightly different distances. Also, if Terran isn't scanning, the tanks can't fire at full range. You see, right now, he can see all the way to this dotted white line. That's his siege tank range, guys. Now the scan wears off, but I mean his bio is there, which is why you can still see it. Show you another time later in the game. Oh my god, the disruptors! Ooh, holy crap. Good trade for BYUN, guys. Oh, what an excellent trade! Oh, this could be game ending. Clem needs to get out of here. Clem was doing such a good job waiting for BYUN to make mistakes, and now BYUN pushes out and jumps him. That's a lot of units have gone down. 4 Colossus, 26 Stalkers, 7 Disruptors. There are 4 Disruptors building at a time. They do build very fast when you chrono them especially, which honestly you could probably do a slightly better job of. BYUN's going to deny the top left corner. He's got range libs coming in. The Marauders getting jumped on by the Stalkers. That was a good chase for Clem. Caught about 5 Marauders there. Chat says Vikings are disproportionately good on this map. Oh, because of all the ledges and stuff? Yeah, they do tend to catch people out. Vikings did get buffed in the last patch. A bit cheaper. Bio Viking trying to defend. Oh my god, ball's going out. The Disruptors. One of them does get off its shot. There's so much Protoss behind this. Not that much Terran. The Terran units are obviously better quality. But because he's got so many siege units and tanks and things that aren't with the army, it was a little scary of a fight. And he's going to give up this position. I think he's... Yeah, he doesn't want to land his Vikings and lose them. So he's going to give up the command center. But he doesn't want to lose it. He just wanted to fly it back. He's going to lose it. That's what Clem's so good at. And this is what I've talked about so much. When a Terran's building up, their command centers are such a vulnerable point. And every time I've said this, I feel like a lot of Protoss and Zerg guys like glaze over, even pro gamers when I talk to them about this. I'm like, Terran, if they get to endgame and have 12 orbitals and everything, you've messed up. Like, you've got to do stuff when they're on the way there. Clem seems to understand this on a deep level as a Terran player himself. How often is he getting in there and cancelling command centers when they're building, killing command centers by focusing them and then just getting out? A lot of people go, oh, but that's not an important sniper. Do you know how important it is? As a Terran, it takes forever to build all those command centers and orbitals up, and they're the heart of everything. They're your economy, they're your scouting, they're your map packs, they are everything. You get rid of the orbitals, you keep them low, the Terran doesn't have the late game setup. Clem understands that. So many players seem not to, and that's why this Stalker snipes are so good. If he goes left, he finds another command center. Disruptors go out, catch a few Marauders. A couple Ghosts going to go down there as well. Good shots here. Vikings starting to fall. Got to be careful, though. He is deep in Terran territory. If he rotates around and finds that command center again, he could potentially snipe it. BYUN's going to expand to both sides at once, guys. This is him just hoping Clem can't be everywhere at once. He's like, I need one of these bases to get up, but you can't defend both. Splitting your army right now is insanity. It's going to gift Clem very easy fights. Luckily for him, Clem splits his army. Clem doesn't know that BYUN's already split up. So that actually might be good for BYUN. Army in the middle goes forward, distracts. BYUN F2'd. BYUN F2'd! He loses the bottom right. Taking top left and bottom right at the same time. It's the Maru move. When Maru wants to throw late game to Serral, that's what he does. Says, here's 2 easy attack angles. You get to pick which one you'd like to fight at. As a Terran, you always want to just take one base at a time, unless you are completely controlling the map. So then it's very easy for your opponents to find you out of position, and they can bait you into some pretty awkward fights. Stalker Colossus coming forward. Ghost Academy goes down. He's already lost one of his barracks add-ons here. Prism goes into the main. Turrets do shoot it down. Doesn't quite get past. 3 more Colossus arrive. They are mostly Marauders. The Ghosts get destroyed by that, though. Stalkers could blink there to get rid of this lib. He needs the Colossus for the high ground vision. There we go. The Colossus provides high ground vision. Doesn't quite get it. Gets a few SCVs across the gap, though. Doesn't. He's not blinking with his important thing. Clem keeping it in his pants quite well. Zealots try to come in here. Oh, he's going to get the tank, is he? He's going to try. He's got a DT in the natural, just hitting depots as well. And he does get that siege tank. That's a huge snipe. Gets the factory almost. It is burning. BYUN right now, putting out fires left, right, and center. All he's got is 2 turrets, a planetary, and a lib. I don't think that's enough for this number of DTs unless he very quickly repairs. 12 Dark Templar going in on the left side. They block most of the repair, but the lib and the planetary doing good damage. And they will take out a lot of these Dark Templar, but not before the planetary falls. 6 DTs for a planetary. I think that's a worthwhile trade for a Clem that is drowning in riches. He is absolutely blessed with a lot of money. He's also going to go for the double prism. One of these is probably going to have to sacrifice itself, depending on how many turrets there are on the edge. Actually, neither will. They will get past. Not that many turrets guarding. And that means there's going to be zealots inside your base. Stalkers go forward. Got to be careful. They're like the Colossus just standing there. I'm not sure if it can reach these patches anymore, but look at that. DT's going on the left. He does bait the scan, runs away. It's only an orbital, not a planetary. Zealot DT in the main as well. Clem just overrunning BYUN. He's giving him the twister. He says, you can't defend if I'm attacking everywhere all at once. But my gosh, mass repair with a full surround. He's going to have to run back in the middle. BYUN's on the warpath. BYUN's like, screw this. Stop bullying me. Meanwhile, Marauders on the left getting killed by DTs. He's not got the APM to scan there and fight in the middle at the same time. There's still more DTs in the main base. And Clem going for the twister once he picked him apart and found the openings. And Clem showing a very patient understanding of how to pick an opponent apart. I think what I liked about his play in this game is it wasn't so in your face from the start, but he kind of waited for BYUN to move out and take bases or to give him opportunities, and that's when he upped the ante. So many Protoss players, we get over eager. We think, oh, I can't go to late game. I've got to push now. We throw our armies away. But Clem just waited a minute or two longer, just lightly kind of pressuring, looking for shave-offs. And the moment BYUN made mistakes, bam, he hit the gas, dove in. And speaking of hitting the gas, that probe just brought 5 gas into this battle, guys. What a Chad. He's like, guys, I mined some gas. Look at it. The Terran instantly gunned him down. BT's continuing to kill the turrets. Every turret is 100 minerals, man. We don't really think of turrets as high-value targets, but it stacks up. And look at that. Runs in, clicks the orbital. As I said, these orbitals are so valuable, man. Can't afford to replace these. There's nothing more obnoxious than that. How are Stalkers doing this well? Well, whenever they're actually fighting on their own, they're appallingly bad. But he's using their mobility, paired with Dark Templar, distracting elsewhere, with Disruptors, and occasionally Colossus, adding damage in as well. And that is just excellent usage of the mobility of the Stalker to snipe down key production, punish your opponent whenever they're dodging the Disruptors, whenever they're distracted by the DTs. The Stalker's like, bam, kill a command center. You can't run a command center away. And that's what this style really takes advantage of. All right, guys, going into Blackrock. Clem in the bottom left side of the map. He went for an early probe scout that's just returning now. He did scout that BYUN here has gone for a command center. Marine reactor. He's going to be out here hiding in the little station, little site blocker fortress here. There's a cute little area. This map's really awesome. Very fun, Warcraft themed. We've got these orc watchtowers around the map, as well as a bunch of other cool things. There's also grunts we found. Yeah, there's some grunts up on these high grounds, just kind of looking over the map as well. You can see a grunt here as well, just hanging out. Friggin' awesome, man. Some big Hydralisk skulls there. Twilight Council coming up. Chat's talking about whether Clem Zerg is any good and if you're random and that sort of thing. It's okay. It's definitely not bad, but it's nowhere near his PvT. Likewise, his PvZ and PvP, he's taken a few maps off the greats on ladder. And even in a tournament, I think he won a PvP against MaxPax in a pretty even Blinkstalker war. But there's massive holes in his game outside of PvT for Clem. Clem does not have, the experience. So if you put him in a lot of weird situations, you'd catch him out the same way you might catch out a 5.5k player, because he hasn't played the thousands of hours of pro StarCraft tournaments, getting cheesed in all different situations across different metas and different builds. So yeah, he beat MaxPax in a really good Blinkstalker war. He took a few ladder maps off Serral in Protoss versus Zerg, which was really cool. But if he plays those matchups in tournaments consistently, I guarantee you, he's going to have a lot of work to do to not just get taken advantage of by his lack of experience. Anyway, this is 3cc into 3 barracks, guys. Quite a greedy build order. Clem's a relatively defensive guy. He's going to go for 2 gate blink into the third Nexus and the Robo. And with no Sentry, he has no idea what he's up against. Now, that being said, it's such a slow payoff, this third command center for Terran. In this matchup, because this does delay often like your Medivacs, your Stim, your Bio Count, whatever it is, you still sometimes just get overwhelmed because you're a bit late on getting your units up. Protoss has a bit more map control. They can chrono probes insanely quickly, and they can kind of get in your face and pick you apart. So the third command center, it can give you an advantage in this matchup, especially the longer it goes unscouted. But I'd say it's a little unreliable. It's not as massive as a crazy quick Nexus or base would be for a Zerg or a Protoss. Okay, Observer flying through the base. We've got scans going down. Factory and starport is there. Very nicely done. Stalkers moving through the middle of the map. Marine does get blasted. Marine's going to move to the left side. Robobay once again. No Storm play for Clem today. He's figured out a style that he likes and he's going to stick to it. Seeing this third command center, he feels like he should have control over this area. Does get the bunker. No refund for you. And BYUN does see that Marine there as well. Now he's got Stim. As long as he doesn't let those Stalkers blink into his main. Oh my gosh, he's going to. Clem the Mad Lad. Take out the reactor and run away maybe. He's not going to get to any high-value targets. Wants to stay close to this area to make sure he could do it. Observer does get scanned. BYUN's Marine does kill the probe moving out there, and I don't think Clem realized what happened, so he's going to go for it again, and yet again, the Marine's going to kill another probe. Oh, that Marine, what a legend. I would send him to a corner to go hide. He deserves a smoke. BYUN is like, no, stay there, hold position, and sacrifice yourself. Come on, BYUN, that's a dick move. He deserved an early retirement. Get him off the front, man. Get him to go get war bonds for the troops or whatever, you know? There's other roles. BYUN's a savage commander, man. If they found out like 4 brothers from the same family had all died within like a week or whatever, they wouldn't have Saving Private Ryan. If BYUN was in control, he'd be like, make sure you send the 5th brother to the same front and like get him right into the thick. You're like, what the hell, man? He's like, what, you think we're going to send a whole bunch of guys, like, trying to rescue one or whatever? It's stupid. It's dumb. Stalkers and Zealots trying to pull back. The first Colossus is out. There is one sentry in here. No Guardian Shield right now, though. An energy recharge on that would be really nice. I think he's got the numbers that he's not too worried. BYUN's got to get out of here. BYUN loses a medevac. He's already used up one of his boosts. Oh, he might be in trouble. The Widow Mines can really help cover you here, but the Observer's excellent. Oh, the Observer. Did you see that? The Observer just twerked at him. Oh my gosh. That Observer just twerked at him. Ooh, hold on. The Marine Marauder count, it's getting thinned out, but there's no Zealots left for Protoss. I think this was still a decent trade, though, for Clem. Trades slightly inefficiently overall, but he got a medevac, got a bunch of Marauders. Keeps most of his important units alive. I think that's totally fine for him. He's also got a 2nd Colossus out. 3rd one will build after the Prism, probably. Double Forge is up. 4th Nexus established. BYUN, of course, on the other side, now starting 2nd eBay Armory. Terran's always a bit slower to these things. He's actually playing 2 reactors, so he's going to have a bit of a heavier Marine split in his army, or ratio, I should say. Widowmine fires, but gets dodged. Clem already taking base number 6. I think Clem's kind of pegged BYUN as being a bit more defensive and kind of passive. I think this is the problem BYUN's running into this series, is Clem is so clearly identifying that BYUN's not really going to commit to any big pushes. There's no early 2nd starport Viking pushes. And that's, you know, yeah, maybe an early SCV pull as well, just in one game. Clem's playing with very little fear. I always feel like when a Protoss player has no fear, they get this almost unstoppable aura. Because you're like, damn, you're getting away with all this greed. How do you feel confident doing that? And they're like, well, you just haven't been able to punish me at any point. Sometimes you got to put a bit of fear into a Protoss, and their efficiency falls off because they have to take extra safety precautions. Great Zealot drop here for Clem. He's going to drop one in the natural as well. Massive amounts of mining time being lost. Double Drop's going to try and deal with this, but dude, this is very frustrating for him to deal with. Meanwhile, double upgrades, mass gateway, second robo's going down. This feels like Clem just distracting with a few zealots, not really committing much. Zealot in the natural got cleaned up. Kills his own SCV there. BYUN does for good measure. I think he thought that was a traitor, so killed his own SCV. Prism does escape to the top left. Second starport does finally go down. Only quite a bit later. Now, to be fair, the second forge has not been used for Clem. Not very much at all, guys. So he's only been making one upgrade for a while. I always put my forges next to each other so it's easy to chrono them. These are simple techniques you guys should do. Unfortunately, a lot of people in StarCraft I would describe as people who don't have brains, but really love to hero worship pros. So they will see a pro do this and they'll purposely put their forges in different places just to make their life harder. There is an argument if you want to disguise the fact that you've gone double forge, don't put them in the same spot so they're not easier to, you know, to see. But the number of players I see with two forges in completely different bases and just forgetting to use them all the time, even at pro level, is kind of interesting. He did double chrono, which tells us he meant to start both. He just didn't quite have the money to start the +3 attack. Or maybe he started it, he chronoed it when it was still finishing number 2. Alright, Clem's got full map control. BYUN, what are we going to do different? This map has some choke points on it. It should be really good for like range lib turtle. Disruptor lands, gets a marine, damages a marauder. Vikings could be really good there. One Colossus going to go down. Marauders from the right as well, really helping here. Oh, sick fight for BYUN. Sick fight for BYUN, guys. Clem stands in his ground and fights. With the flanker marauders on the right side, that was a really awkward one. I think that's an amazing engagement. BYUN slaps down the Colossus. The cows and sheep in the middle of the map are like, what is going on? Moo! Moo! Ooh, the running of the bulls right here, man. This is some Toledo action here. Is that Toledo? Is that where they do that? I don't know. Stalker Zealot trying to run away. The Disruptors and Colossus need to desperately rebuild. Clem, for some reason, is rebuilding Colossus against a guy with 10 Vikings. He's right now trying to counter modern fully automatic firearms with bark shields and wooden spears. Colossus are not the answer to this. The Vikings do land, though. Maybe the Colossus could save the day then if the Vikings all die on the ground, maybe. But EMP and Marauder Stutter Step, more than a match. One Colossus goes down, one pops on the other side. It's isolated, it's got no reinforcements. And I think that single Viking can take care of it eventually. Even though it does a lot of damage, kills a few ghosts there. Be crazy if Clem gets back in this game. He's got a 7-8 Nexus up, guys, all over the map, 78 probes, and he does survive. He's still building Colossus. Now it makes sense because all the Vikings are gone. But definitely questionable committing to Colossus when there were still 10 Vikings on the field, I gotta say. Dude, he survives. And I feel like BYUN, even though that was really good trading overall, gets a 4th up behind it. Still got to play a bit of a careful game here. The Colossus ended up living. Oh, did it? Oh, it did, eh? 4 hit points. Oh my god. 4 hit points, 5 kills. And it's slowly regenerating its shields. 3 threes on the way for both sides. Terran slightly ahead on those. Zealot Runby going to come in. Nothing on this right side. But the bio's nearby, so it's fine. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Left side. This is dangerous. Wait. Clem's going for his Zealot. He's going to try and engage. His army's smaller. Clem right now is acting like the hunter. He may be actually be the hunted. I like the Zealot split here, but these Zealots are going to get wrecked. Running into a planetary and a big pack of bio. Army's rotating around the top left. These Zealots trying to distract. 3 more Vikings are building, which is absolutely necessary. Clem seems to have a bit of a Colossus fetish in this series. They've been good finishing blows once BYUN's broke, but if BYUN can get back to 10 Vikings, I think it's well worth against 4 Colossus. Just FYI, the running of the bulls is in Spain. Toledo's in Ohio. Oh, really? I don't know why Toledo popped into my head. I literally was like, I don't even know what Toledo is. That's a place in Ohio? It sounds Spanish. Was it named by Spanish dudes? Toledo! Like, that does not sound very, very English, you know. Definitely not from English-speaking settlers, right? Toledo! The real Toledo is actually in Spain, says chat. Wait, it is actually a place in Spain? Oh my god, no way. Are these guys actually that ignorant? This is like, I'm like, oh, I went to, do you guys know Clem's from Paris? And they're like, Clem isn't from Texas, Pig. We all know about Paris, Texas, but I don't think Clem's from there. And I'm like, oh my lord. Toledo was actually the capital of Spain in medieval times. Okay, so it is, yeah, what the hell, guys? Disruptors try to connect. A couple of Marauders do go down. The drop comes in behind the Nexus. BYUN gets some good stuff there. I think BYUN can win this game. He's trading 2-1, but I think where's the range lives. He's got +2 ship weapons. He doesn't have a fusion core or Caduceus, which means the medevacs are going to run a bit dry of juice. These guys are already all damaged. The next fight really matters. But BYUN's been doing well with his triple drop on the left, so I think it's maybe okay. He's just going to YOLO. Oh my god, no, not like this, BYUN. BYUN eating balls, but actually the last one didn't get off. Bad start to the fight, I think, though, for BYUN. The Vikings now overexposed. If he abandons them by stimming away, the Vikings mostly will get shot down by Stalkers. Great choice to chase after these. Clem doing very well. BYUN over-committing into that fight. You can definitely see he's had this preponderance to just jam it. I feel like this is like the sort of game where, yeah, it's hard to play defensive, but BYUN just keeps getting excited and just trying to stim on top of Clem's army, and it's getting him in trouble. I feel all of Clem's successes in this series have come from BYUN losing patience. And don't get me wrong, it's not easy to stay patient against a guy as annoying as Clem with his Protoss, but BYUN, it's just, I swear, any hole's a goal for this lad. You could show this guy's a puddle of mud and he'd want to dive right into it. He'd be like, oh, let's see what happens. Oh, the triple drop gets caught by the Stalkers. They were 3 full drop ships. They should have unloaded. He got them out of the corner, but he just wasn't expecting Clem to be there. That's 30 supply down. And BYUN does kill a Nexus, but Clem immediately rebuilds it right outside his base, just showing his confidence level. Double disruptor shot goes out, only gets a single Marine there. The army in the top left just running around trying to distract. We've got 8 barracks up for Terran, 14 gate for Protoss, as well as 4 Robos. I don't think we've seen DTs in this game. If Clem can find the bandwidth mentally here to just take a breather for a second, go home, start +2 plasma shields, but more important, start the Dark Shrine. That will be the tech that could finish this game off. BYUN's on the ropes. He's lost a lot of units in the last few minutes. He was up about 11,000 in the resources lost. Now he's only up 6,000. That is a massive swing, especially for a matchup where you are meant to out-trade the Protoss. But you can tell he's really struggling. But just the constant interaction. Clem doesn't give you breaks. He doesn't give you time to calm down. And that's where a lot of players just crumble under the pressure. It's the intensity, but it's also the duration. It is both a sprint and a marathon at the same time when you are playing Clem. And I think BYUN, like many other players, just cannot keep up this pace of StarCraft for such a long period. It's just so hard. Look at the Stalker count. Who's got 37 Stalkers? He blinks into his own disruptors. That's like when you sit on a lawn chair as an old man on a hot day, you know? Kind of catch yourself a little bit in there and have to deal with a bit of pain. The Grunt, of course, watching on. Oogie boogie. Zog zog. Yes, me lord. I'm not that kind of orc. The Stalkers, don't touch me there. The Stalker's shooting some shots out. He finds a new command center, but it's a desperate, isolated base on this right side. Still no Dark Shrine there as well. The most famous is in Pamplona? Paloma? Pamplona. How the hell do you say it? Pamplona? I don't know how to say that, guys. Stalker Disruptors pushing in. BYUN's still got a good army supply. If he can take a few good trades, he can get back in this, but there's no answer to the Colossus. 2 Vikings ain't going to cut it. The Stalker count's insane. He's just blinking back his Stalkers in ranks. And I think the numbers are good enough. More Stalkers reinforced from the south. Pure Blink Stalker savagery. Clem here, what a psycho, man. Doing it with mass Blink Stalkers, Disruptors, and Colossus. And BYUN just cannot keep up with it. This map feels too good for Clem's style. It probably is not bad, but I don't know. I feel like you could lock it down a little bit. Like there are some nasty chokes and ridges, which you'd think would favor the Liberators and stuff on the defense, but it is hard to get a 5th. You definitely don't want the 5th in the bottom right where BYUN's taking it. You want to take these 2 bases in the top left after this one. But I think BYUN just took a few really awkward fights. He took some amazing fights early on, and then he just got a bit sloppy, got a bit excited. Massing Stalkers into Marauders, it feels like it shouldn't work. I mean, you got to realize it's the Disruptors and the Colossus that make it work. The Disruptors especially are such a big part of it. It's odd now that he's just on 5 Colossus and Mass Stalker, but I think this is after he started forcing so many mistakes. And look at that, splits 20 Stalkers off, blinks in, kills a Planetary. and these guys are just going to kite backwards. Give Clem units that he can kite perfectly, and he will be a massive nuisance with them. Is it cost efficient? Probably not, but it's okay because this is up here. He is dismantling BYUN's economy. BYUN finally gets on top of that army, kills the Colossus, sees another 14 Stalkers warping in, and he says, get me out of here. This is ridiculous. GG, well played.